All right, I'm here with the head basketball coach of the Loudoun Valley Vikings, Chad Dawson. Chad, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
A lot of things going on this year in the Valley basketball season. We're going to start out by talking about your big victory this year. You got 300th win. How did it feel to get that 300th victory this year?
Well, it's interesting because we were talking over the summer, and Coach Hawes and I coached together, and he was asking what our numbers were, and we started doing the math, and I had forgotten that I was at. So it was really a surprise that night against Woodgrove when we got it, because Trent had set all that up.
Yeah.
So, I had forgotten that we were 3 games away from 300. So I was floored when what happened, but you just got a great crowd and a great community here. We're very blessed to coach you.
Yeah, and of course that night was special, obviously going against our crosstown rival, the Woodgrove team. Steve Douglas, head coach, used to coach here, a friend of yours. That must have had a little special to it.
It did. It's a great rivalry and a lot of fun to be a part of, and everybody gets really energized for that game. And, when we do the girls and the boys doubleheader, it's a lot of fun.
It's good stuff. Never miss that game. All right, so this year's team, you've had a lot of success here, winning a state championship 3 years ago. How would you compare and contrast this year's team with that state championship? Obviously, that team had a lot of scores on it.
Yes, I think that's probably the biggest difference. We were just talking about that. We had 3,000-point scorers on that team. And we got some guys pushing some big numbers. Trent's got 1,000, and Clyde's around 800, and Umair's around 600. So there's some scoring capability there for sure. This year's team, I think, is very strong. We're very big. It's probably the biggest team we've ever had. We just haven't always utilized that real effectively in all of our games. But I think we're starting to peak at the right time. We've won 4 straight, and I think we're headed in the right direction. That's what you want to do. You want to be playing your best basketball at this time of year.
Exactly. And speaking of that, last night's win, a huge win, a 3-point squeaker here at Valley. A little different than the last time we got together last week, or I guess 2 weeks ago. That matchup zone seemed to really frustrate the offense. Of course, Trent only managed 4 points. Big difference last night. What was the big difference?
Well, I think one thing is, we had 11 or 12 kids with the flu this year, and I think Trent came down with the flu at that game or the county game before that, because he was complaining about feeling really fatigued that Thursday. So we played away at county, lost a very emotional game after leading at halftime by double figures, and then came back the very next night and play a very strong, talented Dominion team on the road, there are a lot of teams that, with our success, that have wanted to take it to us, and they did a great job. We had no time to prepare for the zone, obviously, and I think it was just it was a perfect storm for us.
Yeah.
But I think we've rebounded well since then and started to, now that we have everyone healthy, I think that's been huge for us, and I think that's one reason why we're starting to see us play up to our capability.
That makes a lot of sense now. Rod Ogren mentioned, he was talking to me earlier about that, and he said, the team just looked fatigued that night. I didn't know about the flu.
Yeah, he tested positive for it this past weekend, but it was past the contagious point, so he probably had it that week.
Well, you can really tell. All right, now, tomorrow night, don't give away too many trade secrets. We won't post this till the game time. But big game, County's beaten us twice now, right? And we're going down the road to play the Raiders, and they have a young kid, Matt Anderson. And this is for all the marbles tomorrow night. What do you look forward to tomorrow night?
Well, we're excited. It's fun to be in this game, because it is an opportunity to earn a championship. We obviously have some opportunity that most times you don't get that redemption game, but we get an opportunity to redeem ourselves, and we feel like we've prepared well. Obviously, Anderson's a very, very good guard. Trent and he have been battling since they were in 4th and 5th grade together. They've played all the way up against each other in AAU and then middle school basketball. So they're very familiar with each other, and they have, I think, a very mutual respect for each other. With the addition of the kid from private school, Mark Siegel, he's added a lot to their team. We've done a pretty good job on him in most possessions. In the second game last time, he hits 3 threes and evaporates our 9-point lead, and that's the kind of plays we have to look to prevent. And then hopefully we can score the ball a little bit better than we have. We're a good shooting team, and we showed that last night. We just haven't always shot well against them, but that's a lot to do with their man defense is pretty good too.
Yeah, and it's hard to beat a good team 3 times one season.
Correct.
Right? Now, finally, we'll end up with you had the wonderful opportunity to coach your son, of course. You mentioned earlier Trent eclipsing the 1,000-point mark this season. There's some pros and cons of coaching your son, right?
Yeah.
I'm doing it right now with my son.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about, what's been the high points and what it's been like to coach your son here at Loudoun Valley.
Well, it's obviously an awesome experience. I've been very fortunate. I played in high school for a coach that was coaching his son at the same time, so I think I learned a lot of what probably not to do, which is very important information to have. And then I coached with coaches that have coached their son, and that were very good coaches. There was one coach up in Pennsylvania, Don Fee, who had 400 wins, and I was fortunate to coach for him when I was in grad school for my education degree after my chemistry degree. And I learned a lot about, how to do that, leave it off. I also, when you're in practice, leave practice here, and then when you go home, then try to switch, and that's tough to do, on the drive home. But there have been nights when he calls mom to come and get him. He don't want to ride home with me, so I wouldn't say it's always been great. But the thing about Trent is he's a warrior, he's a competitor. I mean, he gives it all. Talking about the county game, he's close to breaking the steals record, he's close to breaking the assist record, he's close to breaking the charges taken record, because he just plays so hard on both ends of the floor, and so that I'm very proud of.
No question, it should be. Yeah. And I'll say for the record that I absolutely love your intensity in coaching. I love watching you. It's probably the best thing I enjoy. I like to just try to sit as close as possible when we're not up in the booth. So once again, we want to thank Coach Chad Dawson. Wish him the best. If you get the opportunity, tune in. If you can't make it to the game, statstream.biz. We'll bring you the game. We won't be able to bring you the game tomorrow night. We're getting shut out. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So go to the game and root on your Valley Vikings.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chad.
Thank you, guys.
I
Appreciate it.
forgot about that.